What made you go out of your way to confront the legal system? One day I got a call from my daughter's school telling me she was being expelled for sending another kid to the hospital with broken ribs. I rushed over to talk with the principal, and he yelled at me like I was some irresponsible parent. Your daughter is completely out of control, and you should be glad she isn't behind bars. I was so confused and wanted to defend her, but I had 4 different teachers all saying that she was a violent person by nature. They told me she had jumped on top of a boy's chest, and even after he begged her to stop, she didn't stop. She was being expelled for this incident, and they never wanted to see her again. When I stepped outside the room, my daughter was kneeling on the floor with a dejected face, and I instantly knew I wasn't being told the full story. I told her we'll talk at home. Once I asked her what happened for her to go ham on the boy, she said, "He was trying to touch my boob, so I gave him a slap. I think I made him mad because he put his hand under my skirt." She paused and looked right at me with tears. "I'm so sorry, Daddy. I promise I won't do it again." I calmed her down while holding back my own anger, since I wanted to know the full story, especially what happened after. She said that her Uncle Mark's self-defense training had kicked in after she got pissed off at the boy and just started wailing. She used 2 fingers to poke his eyes and then jumped on top of him to make his breathing difficult. He yelled at her to stop and that he was just trying to have some fun. So she bent down and tore his ears apart, since clearly he couldn't hear when she said, "Stop." That's when the teachers arrived and pulled her off him. They immediately began tending to the boy and threw her on the side. It was decided that she was in the wrong, because any child who loses their control like that is obviously at fault. I was feeling a mix of emotions at this point, so I called my wife and left our daughter with her. Then I went over to Mark's house and gave him a big hug. I told him I had never been this grateful for having a brother. Thanks to him, my daughter was able to defend herself. Together we went back to the school and confronted them. I asked the principal if he knew the reason why the fight started, and he said that was irrelevant. He cited his no violence policy, but I could tell by his eyes that he was trying to deflect. That was all I needed. Within a week, I had the school served with a lawsuit, not just for the tuition I had paid, but also for allowing the harassment of girls on campus and pushing the blame onto the victim. Of course, my lawyer worded things differently to help our case, calling them negligent and so on. I made sure my daughter knew I was proud of her, and her response was basically, "I knew it. Those people tried telling me I should have held back, but really I should have gone harder." After the initial exchange of documents, I was bombarded with calls from the school's very expensive team of lawyers. They were telling me I was making the wrong choice, that I would end up with nothing if I went through with this. My own lawyer was just a local graduate, but I trusted her. She told me, "The fact that they are offering to rescind your daughter's expulsion means they know we have a case." From day one, the jury was against the school for even fighting this, so we settled out of court. But my real motive behind the suit came to fruition a few months later. The district fired the entire school administration and replaced them with good people who put up posters calling for victims to come forth without fear. Now I know my daughter will always be protected at this school.